Hello everybody, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you a super easy stitch called the chain stitch. It's part of what you need to learn if you are going to start crocheting for your dolls or for anybody else for that matter. Okay, and I have some fairly good size yarn here. It's probably, I would say it's probably like a size 3. It's maybe sport weight size. It's not quite what I would consider worsted weight, which is a 4. And I have a crochet hook, which is an I crochet hook. And it doesn't really matter because you can do this with any size yarn, any size crochet hook, just giving you a little information on there. So the chain stitch is one of the first things, well, it is. You have to know how to do the chain stitch in crochet before you do anything else in crochet, okay? So I usually recommend people just make the biggest chain, the longest chain they can stand to make. You can always pull it out, and I'll show you how to do that relatively quickly here. But the first thing you're going to do is attach the yarn to your hook, and you do that by making this little loop like that, putting the yarn behind it, pulling it through, so you have like a little slip knot, and then you put your hook in there. Now you don't want your hook to be too tight. You want to be able to move the yarn up and down on the hook. All right. And so we have a tail. This tail's kind of long, but you want to have at least, I would say, 6 inches is the minimum tail length you want, because you're always going to weave this in later. If your tail is too short, you don't have anything to weave in, so that could be problematic. Then I'm going, the way I tension my yarn is I take my pointer finger, I put it underneath the yarn, and then I hold the tail out to the side here. You can see the yarn moves up and down fairly easily on the crochet hook. I hold my hook like this. There's a little place here for my thumb. All right. I will say some people will hold it like a pencil, like this. Do whatever feels naturally to you. Like if you have that sitting on the table and you go over and you pick it up, how do you pick it up? Do you pick it up and hold it like this right away, or do you pick it up like a pencil? Okay. If you pick it up like a pencil, this is going to feel more natural to you. This is what feels natural to me. All right. And then the next thing you do to make the chain stitch is you're going to yarn over the hook and pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. That's it. That is a chain stitch. All right. You can see I'm just holding the yarn and moving the hook. You always want to move the hook and not the yarn. I've taught quite a few people how to crochet over the years in person, and I will say what I notice is they kind of tend to want to hold the hook and then move the yarn around on the hook, which is completely opposite of what you're supposed to do. So you're supposed to keep this out of the way, tension the yarn with your pointer finger, and go under and pull through, under and pull through. And like I said, I recommend just doing a whole bunch of these. Make it as long as you can stand it. You can see like my stitches, I have a whole bunch of chain stitches now. They look pretty much to be about the same size. That one there's a little funky, but generally speaking, they're about the same size. If you're a new person to crochet, if you're a very, very, very beginner, yours probably won't look like this. Yours will probably have some really big ones or some really tiny ones. That's okay. You're learning how to handle the yarn and the hook at the same time. You're getting a feel for your gauge. At some point in time, you need to be able to put the hook back through these stitches. So if your stitches are super tight and you can't put the hook back through, that's problematic. I always suggest it's better to be loosey-goosey than tighty-whitey, okay? Okay, so the loose is okay. So, and like I said, if you totally goof up, say you do a few and you're like, oh, I hate this, I don't like it, it doesn't look right, I would just say keep going, but if you want to, you can just pull it out and start all over again. Put your hook in there, get your tail out of the way, put your pointer finger underneath here. See how I'm taking the hook and I'm actually hooking the yarn under and pulling through, under, pulling through, under, and pulling through. And typically, when I've taught somebody to crochet, the chain stitch is the first step that you have to do, because I can't even think of anything you could do other than the chain stitch to get started on any sort of project at all. Okay, this is the main stitch that everything builds from. But usually I would say it takes somebody who's never ever crocheted at all, probably 45 minutes to an hour of messing around with this before something clicks. And you can just, like I said, make this super duper long. You can always pull it out, but this is a good way to get a feel for how you're going to hold the hook, how to tension your yarn. And you'll notice that by the end of your long chain, the chain stitches you do at the beginning will look very different than the chain stitches you do at the end. I got a little fuzz there. This is alpaca yarn, by the way, so it's a bit on the fuzzy side. But yeah, that's how you do the chain stitch, and you can see all of the stitches. Let me a little close up here. Notice how they look like a V. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and so on. See how I'm counting all of those little V's? That is a stitch. That's helpful to know because you need to, what they say, be able to read your stitches. And that way, if somebody says, oh, put your hook in the third stitch, you can count and find out what's the third stitch. All right, so I hope you found that helpful, and stay tuned. I will have more videos available on this Crochet for Doll playlist. If you have any questions, feel free to add them down below in the comments. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a wonderful dolly day. Bye-bye.